All right, hello once again. This is Jeff Scott of Rankin Technical College, and as part of the Rankin Technical College AWD 1000 Web Development Technologies course, I've been creating a series of video presentations based on the Mozilla Developer Network Learn Web Development series. I'm in the web forms, and we are talking about advanced form styling. So as you can see, we're on number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of 11. All right. So in this article, it says we will see what can be done with CSS to style the types of form controls that fit into the bad and ugly. Remember, we did the old takeoff of the Clint Eastwood movie, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. And then the last one that was in here, we went over the good, and now we'll try the best we can to do the bad and the ugly. And as the author says here, to recap what we said in the previous article, the bad was the checkboxes and radio buttons with the input type equals search, and the ugly were everything that was in here. All right. So as it says, let's first talk about the appearance property. Which was created as a way to control what operating system or system level styling was applied to web controls. Unfortunately, it says this behavior is different across browsers, making it not very usable. Newer implementations are more consistent in their behavior. All right. If you look at the reference page, you will see a lot of different possibles for the -WebKit. These are basically like kind of browser prefix extensions. So when you use those, what you're saying, for lack of better words, with WebKit, all right, is, in fact, let's look under this. -WebKit minus. Of course, it says it didn't find anything. How about that? So the major browser WebKit prefixes are -WebKit minus for Chrome, Safari, and newer versions of Opera, -Moz minus for Firefox, -O minus for the older versions of Opera, and -MS minus for IE and for Edge. All right, and you can see that the Mozilla Developer Network has got that in there also. All right. Note, it is a pretty good idea to always include both declarations, prefixed and unprefixed. The idea is over time, the ones that are browser prefixed, the -Moz, minus, etc., should be going away. But once they do and you remove them, the one without any browser prefixes will still remain. So it says the following shows what they might look like on your system. The default on the left, and with the applying it on the right. All right, again, as always, it's what you want. Some people are real comfortable with this. Some people would rather have this. In most cases, as it says here, the effect is to remove the stylized border, which makes CSS styling a bit easier, but not essential. All right. The search box is basically a text input, so why is appearance none useful here? The answer is the Chrome-based browsers on Mac OS search boxes have some styling restrictions. You can't adjust the height or font size freely, for example. This is because non-Mac OS browsers no longer use the WebKit rendering engine. It says this can be fixed by using our friend appearance none, which disables that. So that will change this into this. Interestingly enough, they mention here setting border background on the search field also fixes this problem, as it disables or breaks this aqua appearance as well. They mention here that you might have noticed that this X icon that's here, it says disappears when the input loses focus in Edge and Chrome, but it stays in Safari. To remove it using CSS, you can use this. All right. And we're doing just fine. So for checkboxes and radio buttons, it says there that it's a little bit more tricky by default. All right, and to give you an example, and it says that notice how putting this in can make it look a lot different in different browsers. And that's the case that you're going to find with some of these things, especially the ones that they've deemed ugly. As we showed before, we can remove the default appearance with the appearance none, which will make it look a little bit nicer. We can use the pseudo classes checked and disabled to change the appearance of the custom checkbox as the state changes. All right. It says you'll find out more about these in the next article, which is going to talk about these pseudos. The above ones do the following. The checked, as it says, the checkbox is in a checked state if the user is clicked or activated, and the disabled is in a disabled state if it cannot be interacted with. So you see it, again right here. All right. It says they've created a couple more examples if you want to take a look at those as well. All right. So finally, what can be done about the ugly elements? Well, let's break this up into two different ones because the other one was the bad and this one is the ugly. Even though it's only at 6 minutes, we'll pick it up in just a couple minutes.